Welcome to the Mekko Graphics webinar. This is David Goldstein, and I'm going to walk you through some of the new features in Mekko Graphics 7.5. I have to tell you first that I'm really excited about 7.5, our newest version. I'll also let you know that we hope to release it within the next few days, and it's got some great new features, and I'm going to probably spend the next half an hour walking you through what's new in version 7.5. And there's really three sets of things that I'm going to walk you through. I'll spend a fair bit of time looking at how the new ways you can make charts in Excel with Mekko Graphics. And then I'll walk you through some of the productivity enhancements that we have, and we've added a lot of those in this version, and also some of the formatting changes that we've made to make Mekko Graphics more powerful. So that's the agenda. I hope to get you done in half an hour by 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I've got one of my colleagues answering any questions that you have during the session, and I will be around to answer questions as well at the end of the session. So let's get going, and let's start out with Excel. And just to brief you and set you up with some context, there are now three ways that you can work with Excel and Mekko Graphics. The first is the method that we've always had in Mekko Graphics going back many versions, which is link to Excel. So if you have a chart in PowerPoint and you have some spreadsheet data, you can link that chart to a range of data in Excel so that Mekko Graphics will give you warning when the chart and the Excel data are out of sync, and will allow you to refresh your Mekko Graphics chart based on the new Excel data. The second method we introduced in version 6.9, and that is the Excel add-in. And that allows you to start in Excel with data selected and then create a chart in PowerPoint with that Excel data. And from there you can also update the PowerPoint chart when the Excel data changes through the same refresh mechanism, and you can set up your PowerPoint charts for auto update. So when the Excel data changes, PowerPoint will automatically update. And what is new in version 7.5, and what I'm really excited about, is the ability to create charts in Excel solely. So you can highlight your data in Excel and you can make a chart in Excel. And this is great for several reasons. First, what you can do is some of our customers have asked us for the ability to build Excel-based dashboards using Mekko Graphics charts, and you will be able to do that now with version 7.5. Second, you will be able to start your data analysis in Excel. So your Mekko Graphics chart is sitting next to your Excel data. You can make that chart look the way you want it to look. You can play with that Excel data that the chart is working with, and when it's ready, you can copy it and paste it into PowerPoint, and then that PowerPoint chart will be linked to the underlying Excel data, and you can even round trip if you want and take that chart back from PowerPoint, move it back into Excel, and it will still be linked to that data. So I think that's a great new feature, and I'm going to spend just a minute demonstrating it. And what I'm going to do is make this chart that you see here, I'm going to make it in Excel. So I'm going to switch over to Excel, and you can see the data is here. And then if you go to the Mekko Graphics tab, Now you see you've got two options in the Mekko Graphics tab. You've got chart in PowerPoint and chart in Excel. So if you select chart in PowerPoint, it will work. Mekko Graphics will work like the previous versions. Highlight your data, select a chart type, and the chart will appear in PowerPoint. If you click chart in Excel and then select your chart here, so let me do a cluster bar chart. And there it is, your cluster bar chart in Excel. And here you can move it where you want, put it next to your data, make it bigger, make it smaller, play with your margins. And I can go in here, and now I've got my whole edit chart menu right here in Excel. So if I go to my bars and series, I can go and I can take my net margin and show this not on the chart, but as a data row. I can then format it to show as a percent. I can take my EPS row and show it as a line and show it on the second y-axis. I can choose some nice colors for my chart. So my net sales are a nice gray, my net income an orange, and my EPS line a green. I can hide all my labels and then show them, show a legend, and move my legend to the top where I want it. I can format my chart so that my y-axis is in billions of dollars, and I can rescale my y values so it matches that. And my second y-axis, which is for EPS, is in dollars and has a couple of extra decimal places for dollars and cents. And I think I've got a nice looking chart now. And my chart is in Excel. And as I said, if your goal is a dashboard and your dashboard is in Excel to share with your colleagues, you can do this and share it. They can see the data, they can see the chart. Works very nicely. You can also take this chart, copy it or cut it, move over to PowerPoint, paste it, resize it if you want. Double click. Oh, just give me a second. It'll pop up. There, double click, and now you can see my chart has a green margin, which indicates that it's linked to an Excel data range, and it is in sync with that Excel data range. And if I go back to Excel, change my data, go back to PowerPoint, then we should be able to update the data with the new Excel data. And again, you can also from there copy and paste your data and move it back into Excel. So you can go from Excel, working in Excel. You can also go from Excel to PowerPoint, and as I said, you can even go back from PowerPoint back into Excel. So it's a great way to give you some more opportunities to work with Mekko Graphics and to build an Excel-based dashboard if you want, or do some pre-work in Excel before moving your data over to moving your chart over to PowerPoint. So that's a brief preview of the Excel capabilities. As I said, I think this is a real advance for us. It gives our users a lot more capabilities, and it's something that our users have asked for consistently for the past little while. So we're happy to add this. Also, just a note, this works in the Windows version of Mekko Graphics. We don't have these Excel capabilities in the Mac version. We are more limited in how we can automate Excel on the Mac due to limitations due to Microsoft's limitations. So this is a Windows only functionality. So let me move on to some of the other new features that we have in version 7.5. The first one I wanted to talk about was we've got a lot more flexibility and a lot of new ways to manipulate your charts. So one of the simple ones that we've added is the ability to change your chart orientation with just a click. So here I've got a button up here, and also in my format chart I have some layout options. I'm just going to launch my format chart to show them to you. So in both places I can change my orientation on a chart with one click from horizontal to vertical, and up here it's just a layout, horizontal, vertical. And with my horizontal charts, I can do a y-axis swap. So I can move my y-axis from the top to the bottom of the chart. So a little easier to see without the grid, without the margins. So that's a great new feature. I really think it can be useful for a lot of reasons. We've also done a fair bit to simplify our chart types, and at the same time we've redone our quick launch options. So we have fewer, let me go back here just to show you, we have fewer chart types than we did before, so it's easier to convert from one chart type to another. So if you remember, we used to have chart types like stacked bar line charts and 2Y stacked bar line charts. So now you can just take a stacked bar chart, any stacked bar chart, and add a line to it or add a second Y-axis to it. The same with any cluster bar chart. So we've reduced our number of chart types and made it easier for you to add new features to a chart type. So we've got many fewer line charts, and the same with orientation. We just have one cascade chart. We used to have a horizontal and a vertical, and now you can just take your cascade and change it from horizontal to vertical with just a click. So along with that, we changed our quick launch capabilities because we didn't need as many different quick launch options, and we reduced some of them. We got rid of things like 2Y stack bar line charts, but we added some new ones to make it easier for our customers to make commonly used charts. So we added a stacked bar chart with a growth line, which looks like this. So now if you've got data, year-over-year data, and you want to add a CAGR column and a growth line, we've templated that in our quick launch. All you need to do is click on stacked bar with growth. We also made a change to our bar Mekko chart in the quick launch. So the default bar Mekko chart has a data row and is set so that the bar widths correspond to the values in the data row. The last thing that we did in terms of, well, not the last, the next to last thing that we did in terms of improving productivity is we've enhanced our sorting capabilities. So we're giving you some additional methods for sorting your data, sorting your bars, and sorting your series. So we've done really a couple of things that our customers have asked us for. One thing our customers have asked us for is the ability to exclude a series from a sort or a bar from a sort. So the scenario in a Mekko chart is I want all my data sorted with the biggest series on bottom, except I always want my company's data to show up on the bottom. So put my company on the bottom and then sort all my competitors in each bar from largest to smallest. So we now give you the ability to do that, and we also give you the ability to always have a certain bar appear on the left or on the right. So we did that through two things. One is since we've added some sort options, we've pulled out sort in format chart and given it its own tab. So I can sort here biggest on bottom. The other thing we did with sort is we've given you the ability to do a totally custom sort. So if for some reason you always want series to appear in a certain order and it's not the spreadsheet order, then you can just set your order through this custom tab, this custom box here. And the same with bars. We can sort with the widest on the left if you want, or the widest on the right, or we also have the custom sortability in the bars as well. So we've got new features around custom sorting, and the second new feature I wanted to show you was, here, let me just put this back to widest on left, is if I'm FedEx and I always want FedEx to appear on the bottom, if I go into bars and series, I can take FedEx here, and then I've got a new sort order column here, and I can say always put FedEx on the bottom. So FedEx is now excluded from the sort and always appears on the bottom. You can do that with bars as well. You can exclude a bar from the sort and it can always appear on the left or always appear on the right. and a series you can exclude, and it can always appear on the top or always appear on the bottom. So I like that feature. I've been playing with this version now for really, I think a month or two in different incarnations, and I was surprised at how often I use these new sorting options, specifically the exclude from sort and the custom sort. So another feature that our users have asked us for to help improve their productivity is setting the y-axis scale on multiple charts to the same scale. So, right, we've added that to Mekko Graphics. It's not, you don't get there by double clicking. It's right here in the Mekko Graphics ribbon. If I select two charts that are on the same page and set the same y-axis scale, then the y-axis scale of the first chart I selected will be applied to the second chart. So here you can, that's how you get both of these charts to have 200 to 800 billion as their y-axis scale. And you can do that with two charts. You can do that with four charts if you've got four charts on a page. And it always will take the scale of the first chart and apply it to the other charts. So that really helps you if you want to standardize your scale on all the charts on a given slide. That gives you the ability to do that. So as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of new productivity boosters, a lot of new features. I think you're going to find a lot of them to be very useful moving forward, especially if you're a power user of Mekko Graphics and really want to push its limits. In terms of new formatting, we've added a few things that I think are interesting. We've added a new way of comparing segments across bars. We call them segment comparison lines. So we already had the notion of a bar comparison line, so we could compare, say in this chart, we could compare the first and the third bars. But now we've also added these segment comparison lines as well, which allow you to compare the values of different segments, and you can either show an absolute or a percentage change here between the top of direct fixed in segment in bar 1 with the top of direct fixed in bar 3. You could see the 82% increase mentioned here. So it's a nice feature. It's helpful in cluster bars as well, and you can do it either comparing two bars within a cluster or comparing two bars across clusters. We've added the ability to show the CAGR value on a growth line. Used to only show absolute and percentage increase. Now we've built the CAGR formula in there, which is nice if you're showing, if you've got a chart with CAGR data in it, you can use the CAGR column to show growth across in each of your segments across time, and use the growth line to show CAGR growth across your the sum of all of your segments. So it's a nice increase here. I think what we've got here is maybe three different BMW models, X3, X5, X6, and showing their growth from 2008 to 2014. They overall grew at 11%, and you can see that the strongest growth was in the X3 model. So a couple of other features before I wrap up. One is the ability in charts, useful in line charts, to add grid lines. This is something that PowerPoint and Excel charts have had for a while, and our customers have asked us for that capability in Mekko Graphics. So we've added those in this version of Mekko Graphics, and you can see them in format chart, in the format chart task pane. Which I'm going to bring up here. Here you see the ability to add or remove grid lines. Here, and we also have the ability to add a vertical line. So you can see in this, and this right here on the menu on the Mekko Graphics Edit Chart ribbon, and that's good if you want to here's a good example where you want to note when the iPhone 4 launch and the iPhone 6 launch occurred. You can add a vertical line and add a label to that line. So that's a nice new feature. And you can format. Typically, you can format any line in terms of dashed or solid, line thickness, and line color. And you can see we did that here with these vertical lines. Last and possibly least, we have the ability to color your reference bubble. If you're a big bubble chart user and you are unhappy with your reference bubble being white, only white, now you can right-click on your reference bubble and make it any color that you want. So that was my run-through. That was a quick overview of all the new features in Mekko Graphics 7.5. We have, as I said, I think that release of 7.5 is very, very close. You should be seeing it within the next week, or maybe even less. I encourage you to try it. I encourage you to share your feedback with us about it. We're very responsive. If we run into issues, we will typically do a bug fix release, typically within a month or so of the initial release, depending on the types of issues that we find. And we're very, as I said, we're very interested in your feedback. We're especially interested in any feedback on the new Excel capabilities. And I just wanted to wrap up by letting you know that we do have a bunch of resources that that are available for all of our customers. On our website, we've got a bunch of training videos. We have a great chart gallery. We've got over 150 charts that you can choose from, which are great examples of how to use Mekko Graphics. We've got some great presentations in there as well. We just finished a case study about a small food company and how it used Mekko Graphics. We've got the chart selection toolkit to help you figure out what chart you want to use in a given circumstance. We've got the strategy consultants toolkit. My own personal favorite is the chart of the week blog, because that's something that I'm doing every week. I would really encourage you to subscribe to it. The last week's chart of the week was on the men's basketball tournament that we've got going in with colleges in the U.S. This week's chart will be on unicorns, billion-dollar startups. So there's always an interesting chart, and it's got some interesting data, and it's a great way to see how you can use Mekko Graphics and maybe think of a new way that you might want to use Mekko Graphics. We've got a tips and tricks blog as well on our website. We've got FAQs on our website, and we've got custom color palettes on our website as well. A bunch of ways that you can get support right in the Mekko Graphics software. You've got email support, and you've got Ask an Expert. So you've got a couple of ways of, if you've got charting questions, Ask an Expert is a great way to get them answered. And email support is a good way to, if you've got any issues about the software. And we're big and growing in social media. You can connect with us and or with me on LinkedIn. We are tweeting, and we are on Facebook. So thank you all for listening to the Mekko 7.5 preview. The next webinar next month will be our regular Mekko Graphics training webinar. It'll be 90 minutes long, and it will be an introduction to Mekko Graphics using Mekko Graphics 7.5 as the base. We are recording this webinar, so we will put it up, and we will make the deck from this webinar also available to all of the registrants for the webinar. So thank you very much. I will stick around for a couple minutes if you have any questions. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me, and thank you for being Mekko Graphics customers. If you've got a question, just go ahead and ask it in the question box in the GoToMeeting, in the GoToWebinar.